You have been betrayed. Not once, not twice, by someone you were certain about, someone you defended. And the worst part? You already knew something was wrong. You felt it. You ignored it. Why? Right now, at this exact moment, someone in your life is being trusted more than they deserve. And your brain is the reason they are getting away with it. Trust is not a virtue. It is a vulnerability. And until you understand exactly why your brain manufactures it, you will keep handing it to the wrong people. You were not weak. You were not naive. You were engineered to trust. The problem is, so were the people who learned how to exploit that engineering. This video is not about them. It is about the machinery inside you that let them in. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Every reason you trusted the wrong person, it is in here. Every trigger, every trap, every blind spot your brain built into itself before you were old enough to refuse it. Pay attention. Predator, Christian. The target, Stella. Dynamic, a fake relationship that bleeds into reality. He uses his elite tech skills to spy on her and protect her, ruthlessly making himself the absolute center of her world. Before we go further, there is a man you need to know. Not because he was admired, because he was right about something that made powerful people deeply uncomfortable. His name was Robert Cialdini, a social psychologist who spent decades inside the rooms where influence is manufactured, studying con artists, cult recruiters, advertisers, and salespeople. He did not write philosophy. He wrote something more dangerous, a map, a precise, documented map of exactly how human trust is manufactured, bypassed, and weaponized. He called his book Influence, and the people who read it most carefully were not academics. They were the ones who needed to know how to use it. He wrote, and I quote him directly here at this one time only, "The most terrifying thing about compliance professionals is not that they exist. It is that most of their targets never realize they were targeted at all." Robert Cialdini. Read that again. Most targets never realize they were targeted at all. That is not a warning about other people. That sentence is about you. About every time you walked away thinking it was your choice. Now you know it is possible. Now you will start to see it. Here are the 6 mechanisms he and others mapped, and that you will never be blind to again. Lesson 1. The title is a door. What is actually behind it? That is what you need to learn to read. Lesson 3. The mirror. They did not understand you. They studied you. Then they performed understanding, and your brain could not tell the difference. They used your interests back at you, your vocabulary, your emotional patterns. You felt like finally someone saw you. That feeling was the trap. This is called mirroring, and its most calculated form, love bombing, floods you with so much apparent understanding that your threat detection system shuts down from sensory overload. Real connection builds slowly. Real understanding arrives over time through friction, disagreement, and silence. If someone seems to understand everything immediately, they are not reading you. They are performing a reading of you. Starting today, notice how quickly someone claims to understand you. The faster the claimed intimacy, the more carefully you should watch what comes next. Drop this in the comments. Real understanding earns its way in. It does not rush. Lesson 4. The crowd. When everyone around you trusts someone, your own skepticism begins to feel like the problem. That is exactly how it was designed. Bernie Madoff stole $65 billion. His victims were not fools. They were smart people who had one. Lesson 6. The red flag, you named something else. You saw it. You knew. You found a reason it meant something different. And that reason was not logic. It was terror. Motivated reasoning. When the mind has a stake in a belief, it does not evaluate evidence neutrally. It becomes a defense attorney for the conclusion it already prefers. It finds alternative explanations. It builds cases. It wins arguments inside your own skull that you never agreed to have. Research on whistleblowers found consistently that people who knew something was wrong stayed silent, not from ignorance, but because naming it correctly meant rebuilding their entire understanding of what they had been part of. That is not cowardice. That is the scale of the threat the brain perceives. Red flags do not look red in the moment. They look like exceptions, like bad days, like things that probably have a good explanation you have not heard yet. The explanation never comes, and you already knew that. But you waited anyway. Starting today, when you find yourself building a case for why a warning sign means something less than what it appears to mean, stop. You are not analyzing the evidence. You are protecting an investment. Those are two completely different activities. The flag was always red. You just needed permission to see the color. Drop this in the comments. I see what is, not what I need it to be. Clarity is not cruelty. Seeing clearly is not the same as becoming cold. It is the difference between a person who walks into walls